So let's talk a little bit more about karma, since that seems to be a topic that people are very confused or don't understand. Again, I am not here to tell anybody what to believe. My roots are in the Christian faith, but because of what I do and where I have evolved to, as I said, I'm not bound to a book and I'm not bound to a building, and I'm perfectly okay with that. So, for any of you listening that consider yourself a Christian that do not believe in karma and all these other words that humans use, I want to let you know that maybe this video isn't for you, and maybe it is. Maybe it'll give you a different insight because I work with all different nationalities, all different religions, the God, Christ consciousness, whatever that I talk to. It tells me we are all of His children. That's it. Doesn't care. Black, white, green, pink. Doesn't care. Doesn't care if you're Christian, Catholic, Buddhist, Hinduism. Doesn't care. As long as you believe in love. Period. Right? So that's where I'm coming from, this perspective. So I did my homework so I could do this video. While the concept of karma isn't explicitly mentioned in the Bible, many Christians believe in the principle of sowing and reaping. Right? Where actions have consequences, though they view it through the lens of God's grace and forgiveness rather than a rigid and personal system. So here's a more detailed explanation. Rejection of reincarnation and karma. The Bible rejects the idea of reincarnation, which is a core tenet of karma, and therefore also rejects the idea of karma as a system of automatic rewards and punishments based on past actions. Sowing and reaping. The Bible does discuss the principles of sowing and reaping, meaning that our actions, whether good or bad, will have consequences. But within the context of God's moral universe and His active involvement in bringing about growth, change, and sometimes correction. God's grace and forgiveness. Christianity emphasizes God's grace and forgiveness, which are seen in a way to break the natural law of sowing and reaping through Jesus' sacrificial love. Focus on spiritual transformation. Christians believe that focus should be on spiritual transformation and living a life pleasing to God rather than simply accumulating positive or negative karma. Examples in the Bible. Some verses in the Bible, like Proverbs 28 verse 10, seem to hint at karmic principles, stating that those who lead others astray will fall into their own pit, while the blameless will inherit good things. God's justice. Christians believe that God is just and will judge all people according to their deeds, but they also believe that God's justice is tempered by His mercy and grace. So, karma is a concept of Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and Sikhism. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. It is a complex idea that describes how actions cause consequences, often in cycles of rebirth. Karma in Hinduism, karma is the relationship between actions and consequences. The effects of karma are controlled by God according to the Vedanta thought. The Puranians say that the planet Saturn, known as Shani, represents the Lord of Karma. Karma in Buddhism. In Buddhism, karma is the principle of cause and effect. The result of action is determined by the act of intention. Karma is Sikhism. I'm not saying that right. In Sikhism, karma is the law of cause and effect. Sikhs believe that when you do come back to you, the word karma comes from Sanskrit and means action. The original law of karma was written by the Rig Veda during the Bronze Age. So as you can see, there's lots of different views on this whole thing. So again, I'm going to go back to, I'm not here to tell you what you should or should not believe. I know that for me, as a little girl, my gifts, the things that were happening to me, I was told I had a great imagination. I wasn't allowed to talk about them. The reason that I decided not to be bound by a building or a book is because of the fact that it stifled what I was here to do. And not every one of you that are watching this are going to believe this. You're going to say I'm a witch, I'm possessed by demons. You can say all the things. I don't care. That's what you believe, and you have every right to that opinion. But I am here because I am choosing to use my gift for good. And we all have this gift. We were all born with it, and we choose. So for me, religion had its purpose. The Bible has its purpose. Catholics, Baptists, Lutherans, they all have their purpose. And if that's for you, bravo, good for you. I'm glad that you have your religion. I'm glad that you have your faith. I think it's amazing and it's an incredible thing. But if it's limiting you to not be all you can be, then you need to take a look at it and say, okay, what's wrong with this? This is not fulfilling my heart, my soul. It's not my passion, right? And I'm grateful that I have my roots there, but I'm also grateful that I was able to embrace my unique gift, which I called weird for many, many years. And I am now using it to help other people on their journey and to help them have love, hope, and faith, but a different way from your religion. And that's okay, because that's what we're all here to do, is to just be us. Free will, you choose, and when this life is over, you're going to go back to whatever you believe. And I know I'll be in heaven. So I hope that you find this helpful, and I hope that it gives you faith, hope, in deciding what you choose to believe.